I did a couple of extra little bits, so I've added gold onto the skull there, and I also greened up his eyes with a very small detail brush. I'm now just going to do a couple of extra little bits of detail. And this is before I start doing all the dry brush stuff. So this is a very small amount of purple on here, just to make this a bit brighter and stand out a bit more. Cool. And then I'm going to do a very thin layer of, sorry, that purple was Zerus purple, and then I'm going to do pallid witch flesh, a very thin coat of pallid witch flesh on the purity seals, the text boxes, the scrolls, that's a better word. Okay, so this is just very watered down, just through the center to counteract some of the darkness that's come through. And I like to kind of like a wash, and we'll just brighten that up just a little bit. Okay, so and that was with a very fine detail brush that I was doing that. So now I'm going to pick up an old medium dry brush. This is a rounded one as opposed to the current ones which are all flat, and I'm going to use some Necron compound, and this is going to highlight up all the silver areas. So I'll just put that on my brush, and then I'll just dry brush this. So just dragging it along perpendicular to any lines, and it just brightens up the colour a little bit on the raised areas. You don't want to go too nuts with this stuff, because the whole point of it is to add some interesting colour. Because if you go too nuts with it, you know, all you'll see is the Necron colour, and you'll have lost all of the benefit of the other stuff, of the lead belcher and the shading. But just making sure that's, there we go, looks a bit better in shot. Okay, so that's brightened up the gun on there, on the silver parts, so I'm happy with that. And the only other part was these couple here, so they've now got some depth to them. So that was a very quick little dry brush. Now there is also this small little area up here that I'm not dry brushing on purpose, because I kind of like the shadow that's already there, with the whole being enclosed thing. But I am going to use some mithril silver, which is again from a very old pot, and this stuff is super shiny. Now the reason I'm doing this is that I'm actually going to put a gemstone effect on the little. And once again my camera died on me, so I'll pick up where I left off though. So I'm using mithril silver to make a very shiny spot on the little targeter here. So this stuff is super duper shiny, so it doesn't need much, but I'm going to do both of them. Okay. Alright. Right, and now I'm going to highlight I'm going to highlight the crux symbol. So for this one I'm using a light grey called Astronomican Grey. Once again, I'm not sure if this one's still available or around, but it might be. And I'm going to do this with a flat dry brush. So this is a small dry, which I actually think is too big for a small. It should be smaller. Don't know that doesn't make much sense, but it's what I believe. Anyway, okay, so then we just push this over the top. And we're just wanting to colour in all the raised areas so that they get some definition pop coming through. And less is more. Put too much on, you'll lose half the detail that you've spent all this time creating. Okay, there we go. So that's now got a nice sort of 3D shadowy effect going on, which is good. Okay, and now I'm going to do the gold areas. So I'm going to use a non-dry brush for this one, and for this one I'm using Sigmarite, which is a very bright gold colour. There's another one that I use which is similar to this, called Golden Griffin I think it is. Which is a bit more muted, which I sometimes find is actually really nice to put on the corners, but this one makes things shine. That's the Sigmarite makes things really shiny. Okay, so we just drag it along the areas that we want to get nice and shiny. You should immediately start to notice some elements popping out, like the edge of the wings and the slightly raised areas, which is the whole reason to do the dry brush. Okay, so I might need a bit more paint on there. I really like dry brushing as a technique. It's probably my favourite. Just because it adds so much vibrancy to models, and it's so easy to do. It's quite literally the easiest paint thing that I know. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually do the wash on that guy. Thought I had. I'll have to do that. Fix that up in a second. But now all these gold areas are popping quite nicely. Might actually be able to go over a bit more. Especially on these wings. There we go, that's better. Okay, there we go. You can see it's got nice shine coming through on all these little gold bits. And we've got some layering effects sort of going on, which is nice. Okay. I'll just fix up that skull and then I'll be back.